All channels.
Now I would request Mr. Dr. Rio Ribello to speak about the book and his views.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Daivamuthu has introduced me and other guests, but I would like to introduce myself briefly. Hello. So that you understand me in the context of today's subject. Even though comparisons are odious, I share several things in common with Dr. Swami. Both of us are foreign educated and teach in foreign universities, albeit on different topics. I am into holistic healing, holistic development, humanism, environment, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, one world government. Swami's wife is Parsi, my wife is also Parsi.
That's a great similarity.
Yeah, but I have not converted my wife. I don't know what Swami has done. I have not converted my wife. Nor have I christened my two sons. I did not even baptize them. When they went to school, and mind you a church school and college like Nirmala Niketan, in religion and caste column, I wrote not applicable. Not applicable because it is here. आज थोड़ा तालियां बजाओ यार. कुछ नई बातें कह रहा हूँ. I wrote not applicable because that is where all the kachra is being put in the minds of the children. All the discrimination starts from there. Dr. Swami has also written several books. My friend Madhuji also has written several books. I have written 42 books and I have lectured in 65 countries, over 15,000 lectures, including at UN conferences. This is briefly about me. क्योंकि आजकल कौन क्या कहता है इसके ऊपर ज्यादा भाव दिया जाता है. Not what is being said. Who says what? That's why I gave you little झलक दे दी मैंने आपको अपने बारे में. The only difference between him, that is Dr. Swami, and me is he wants to become the Prime Minister of India and I want to become the President of India. स्वामी जी जानते हैं मैंने पिछली बार भी कोशिश की थी प्रेसिडेंट बनने के लिए और ये मेरी किताब है जो मैं उनको अभी दे रहा हूँ. इट इज फॉर यू सर. और मैंने स्वामी जी को ये भी किताब पहले दी थी, शायद उन्होंने पढ़ी भी होगी. I have known the author of this book for over 30 years when he was the PRO in the Siemens. Since then I have known him. I have helped Madhuji also to become from graduate constituency MLC 2 बार. तीसरी बार मैं उनको मदद नहीं कर सका. आप जानते होंगे किस वजह से. उस पॉलिटिक्स में हम नहीं जाते हैं. Madhu is now 82 and this is his 4th book. His one book is Common Civil Code, to which I subscribe, and I have openly said so. I do not believe in statistics or history. I do not believe in statistics. आप जरा मेरी बात सुनेंगे कि आपस में बातें करेंगे. I do not believe in statistics or history, for history is written by the winners. And you know what history of the world CNN is writing with embedded journalists, copies approved by the military generals or CIA agents. That is the kind of journalism we don't want, and that is the kind of history we don't want. We want to write our own history. And when it comes to statistics, my famous quotation is, statistics is like swimming costume. What it reveals is very interesting. What it hides is much more interesting. Now, Madhuji has not played with statistics, mind you. What he is saying in his book, is also corroborated, and I am very active on the Facebook, is also corroborated on an excellent video, which I'll give you a link later on. You must see that video on the Facebook, that Muslims will take over the world in a systematic manner. That is the video. And it corroborates what Madhuji is saying in his book. Well, my question is, why shouldn't they take the charge? Why should minuscule Jews misrule the world on their little finger all the time? Why Hindus should not take charge of the world with a superior culture, superior wisdom, superior initiative and superior courage? We have got courage and we have spread all over the world, more than the Muslims, mind you. Why are we following the decadent West when the world is looking at us for leadership, for something new, with hope? And I can say that because I have lectured in 65 countries and I keep going to abroad every 3 or 4 times a year. Madhu Devlekar, however, is not hysterical while playing with the official census figures, but he fears that India will become another Indonesia, Bosnia, Lebanon or Palestine are misplaced. In fact, it is the other way around in Palestine. Whether you agree with me or not, it is a fact. Israel has cornered 95% of Palestinian land and reduced Palestinians to ghettoization by building 300 kilometers of long wall. And we are not talking about that. We are not talking about that. Why? Are we blind? It is a fact though that the Bangladeshis have invaded Assam and or Mumbai. And there are Muslim ghettos in Bhayandar, Bhiwandi, Mungra, etc. But why? Why are we talking about Muslim ghettoization all the time? Why are we talking about Muslim ghettoization all the time? Can we find out the causes also? What happens to them? And are we responsible for their ghettoization in our superior culture where we say Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam? World is our family. So are Muslims or Christians not part of our family? Madhu aptly quotes on page 25 from Justice M.C. Chagla's Roses in December. Hinduism is the primary religion of this country. And further quotes APJ Abdul Kalam's Ignited Minds in India. The core culture goes beyond time. It precedes the arrival of Islam. It precedes the arrival of Christianity. But from there, I repeat, but from there to insist, like even rational Dr. Swami does, that Christians and Muslims must accept that before conversion they were Hindus and then we will accept you, is reducing Christians and Muslims into second-class citizenship, which is what we cannot allow. Which is what we cannot allow. May it be noted that Sanatan Dharma is a superior culture, whereas Hindutva is a cult. You have forgotten culture, you have reduced it, Sanatan Dharma, to a cult. And cult is what I cannot accept, because I know about Sanatan Dharma better than perhaps you, because I learned through Marathi medium school. I learned through Marathi medium school. While in school, I attended RSS Shakas and learned Lathi Charge. But I have not had any time or occasion to take on a Lathi like in Jiski Lathi Uski Bhens as in Uttar Pradesh or Bihar. No, लाठी की कोई जरूरत नहीं है. लाठी से अगर आप रूल करने सीखोगे तो प्यार कब सीखोगे? हमारा धर्म है प्यार, मानवता का धर्म है प्यार. My lathi is my powerful pen, or my frank speak. The reason why Madhubai invited me today to balance the discussion. Am I right, sir? Yeah, I am doing it. Very well I am doing it. In its foreword, our secular friend Muzaffar Hussain writes, populations make a nation. Populations make a nation. No, sir. Sheeple population, that means those who go like sheep behind every. Sheeple population, that's a new American word. Sheeple population steeped in corruption steeped in communalism, casteism, criminalization of politics, and runaway capitalism that has destroyed the world does not a nation make. It cannot make a nation if you are divided into so many states. On page 36, Madhu says there are 50,000 Arabic speaking in India. And on page 37 he records, it is a matter of concern that the Sanskrit language, which was the sole national medium of thought and communication during 13th and 14th century, is now on the verge of being extinct. That is what he says. May it be noted that Sanskrit is coming back with a vengeance as a computer universal language, and we must be proud of that. And future language of technology is Sanskrit. All the researchers that are there in Germany, all those original books which have been taken away from India will be again be translated, and they are there in the Library of Congress. Frankly, we can take over USA or UK without sending in armies like America does. As 95% of IIT graduates and doctors are working in America and UK. And if by a press of button, without sending armies or weapons of mass destruction, we can take over those countries. We need not have armies placed in different parts of the world like America does. No need for that. Our economy is different. We believe in holistic development. Our culture is understand everybody, sab hamare hum sabke. On 46th page, Madhu writes, Muslim youngsters are involved in bootlegging, drug peddling, violence and terrorism, and concludes, quoting Ankleshwara Iyer, that violence is a chief cause of poverty. Sorry sir, I don't agree with you on that. That amounts to racial profiling. Is that the reason why in police force and defense force we do not have Muslims? Is that how we are racially profiling them? If that is the kind of religion-based society we are forming, then that is not proper. Since our constitution is based on secular values. In short, Sanatan Dharma, which gave Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam idea 5,000 years ago. So that means how progressive we were even at that time when Europe was reeling in darkness. Madhu has devoted entire part 4. Now this is very important. Madhu has divided entire part 4 of his book to Samuel Huntington's theory of the clash of civilizations. Now this theory is based on divide and rule policy of the West, and they want to divide us and rule over us. Please don't fall a prey to that. And to buttress his argument, he quotes Amartya Sen. Well, I believe neither in Huntington's theory, nor in Amartya Sen's pseudo-secularism, nor in Mauni Baba's economic policies, which are going to ruin us as a nation. As a nation, it is going to ruin us. And I don't know why you people are just keeping quiet when the nation is being sold. Surprisingly, even my friend Dr. Subramaniam Swamy, when the foreign educated person was appointed recently as a governor of Reserve Bank of India, nobody took objection. He is from the IMF. And are we selling our economic policies to the IMF? Is IMF going to make our budgetary policies? Decide the dollar and rupee rate? I have traveled through 65 countries delivering over 15,000 lectures in 78 on yoga. When Baba Ramdev was barely 3, I started teaching yoga in the churches and even to the Muslims. You can even read my booklet, Yoga of Namaz. I told them, and let me tell you, Muslims accepted my yoga philosophy better than my own people in the church. And I had a big fight with them, but now they have accepted. I am a 90% vegetarian. Now you may say, why 10% you are not vegetarian? If you are drinking milk, you are not vegetarian. If you are eating fish, you are not vegetarian. If you are taking antibiotics, you are not vegetarian. If you are taking gel, you are not vegetarian. If you are eating kaju katli with that film on it, you are not vegetarian. That's why I am 90% vegetarian. I stopped going to church some 45 years ago, and consequently, when RSS, BJP or Bajrangi asked me to go to Portugal, since my parents were from Goa, I tell Namo's followers that I have a B1, B2 visa and I have gone to America 3 times, whereas Namo is still getting US visa. Please find out the real reason, and my talk is strictly based on the book and the content of the book. But I cannot accept, even though he is my very good friend, I cannot accept all that my senior brother is saying. Please find out the real reason why Muslim population is growing. Because you prefer the male child and not the girl child, which will bring back the situation of 5 Pandavas sharing one Draupadi. Muslims are not the terrorists. That is the Jewish and American viewpoint. They are the 2 known terrorists in the world, Israel and America, who are painting the world dark, and I cannot tolerate that as a humanitarian. Otherwise, like Dr. B.R. Ambedkar embraced Buddhism because of Brahminical tyranny, India will again defeat the BJP Shiv Sena government, even though there is an excellent repeat opportunity of defeating the Congress. And this is what the pulse of the people is saying. I am only voicing, as one working at the grassroots level, that there is a great opportunity to replace the decadent party. But are you united? Have you got the manifesto? Answer is, you have to find out. So, another 2 minutes and I will do with my speech. So, nurture Sanatan Dharma. So, what is this clap for? For finishing in 2 minutes or for my content? Okay. So, nurture Sanatan Dharma. You had given me 10 minutes, I am going to finish in 10 minutes, if there is no interruption. So, nurture Sanatan Dharma, respect secular constitution of India. The world is divided into Christian nations, Muslim nations, Buddhist nations. Ours is the only secular country in the world, and I am very proud of it. Sare jahan se acha Hindustan hamara. Even though I was educated in Scotland, I came back to India to serve my people, like Swami Vivekananda said. It is estimated by UN that by 2028, India will become world's most populous nation. Population will cross 1.45 billion mark, surpassing China. Thereafter, it will keep growing. Population is an asset, it is not a liability. That's why America is coming to do business with you. He is not interested in your progress, he is only interested in business with you. The same UN report also estimates that by the end of this century, world population could be as high as 16.6 billion or fall to 6.8 billion. So we need not be afraid of Muslims, Christians, Sikhs, Parsis, Jain, Buddhists, born in this great country. There is absolutely no clash of civilization. There is absolutely no clash of religions in our country. By the way, how many of you know that Modi is saying that we will build 275 seats? 275. Do you know how he is going to do it? With technology. He says, I have got mobile application Saffron 1 and Saffron 2. That means by voting from any part of India to your candidate, let's say I am in Delhi, but I am from North Bombay, I can on mobile vote my candidate, whichever candidate I want. Now, this kind of technology in principle is okay, but this kind of technology can also be misused. And if you can do it, Congress can do it doubly. So better be careful that Saffron 1 and Saffron 2 app can be misused. So be careful. My best wishes are with you. And I will also work for you. But beyond 3 agenda, मंदिर वही बनाएंगे, special status निकालेंगे, and uniform civil code I am supporting, as I said. Even special status should not be there for Kashmir, I agree with you. But मंदिर मस्जिद के लफड़े में नहीं गिरे आप. हमारा जो भारत की संस्कृति है वो हरिश्चंद्र की संस्कृति है. I had given before the demolition of masjid that there should be सर्व धर्म संस्थान there. But नहीं, वो नहीं करेंगे आप, क्योंकि उसी में धर्म के चक्कर में आपको लड़ते झगड़ते रहना चाहिए और वोट बैंक बनाना है. But you are not going to win with that. 1 minute, I finished. Wait a minute. Have patience. Wait a minute. To win, I am the first speaker and I have been given 10 minutes. If you interfere, I will take more time. I am going to finish. You are reacting now. You are reacting. नहीं, आप बीच में नहीं बोलिए. आप बीच में जब सवाल पूछेंगे तब पूछना. हाँ. To win, you need a people's manifesto, people's candidate, people's planning, people's judiciary, holistic development and happiness index, not GDP. GDP can be manipulated. My last para. Okay? मुझे खुशी हो रही है कि आप रिएक्ट हो रहे हैं और स्पीकर का पहला कर्तव्य होता है ऑडियंस को रिएक्ट करना, नहीं तो ऐसे बैठ के उधर ही ऐसे. Thank you, Madhubai, for inviting me. Thank you, August audience, for listening to me. As you go on, remember my 3 slogans: Nav Jeevan, Nav Bharat, Nav Jagat. सबकी एक पहचान, मेरा भारत महान. सोच बदलो, सब कुछ बदल जाएगा. The day you feel the whole world is your home, the sky is your ceiling, the earth is your floor, and every tree is your garden, then you are really home.
Thank you, Dr. Leo Ribello-ji. Now I would request Advocate Ashish Shelar, the President of BJP Mumbai, to enlighten us.
Dr. Subramanian Swamy, Mr. Muthu Muzaffar Hussain ji, Dr. Leo Ribello, and all the dignitaries on the dais, and my media friends, people who are present for this. I will not be going to speak more because I know that we all are here gathered to listen to Mr. Subramanian Swamy. I will not also react on what my earlier speaker has said because I believe in truly democracy and therefore whatever he wants to express his opinion, he has expressed about. Barring 2 things, because he himself has said that he doesn't want to speak anything about his book. By saying that twice he has mentioned about Narendra Bhai Modi's name, which he should have avoided for this function, and I fully disagree with whatever views he has put forward and which is uncalled for. I would have reacted on the same, but this would not be the proper stage for the same, so I will restrict myself from reacting. I know we all are here for the simple reason because Madhu Devadekar ji has done an extensive study and presented a book before us. The launching of the book is on the day where today's newspaper is having the big 2 news. One is of Peshawar, where around 78 and more people has been killed by bomb blast in a church, and the other is in the Kenya, where the mall has been attacked by the terrorists and more than 2 Indians has lost their life. I am mentioning these 2 incidences specifically because globally this is an issue how to tackle with the eruption of feeling of ethnic people or religious people. Civilization is needed. Everybody is talking about civilized society. But how to maintain the civilized society? What are the reasons to keep the civilized society calm, cool, the discussion on the same looks like not happening aggressively the way it should have been. There are research going on throughout the world that how we could give the good governance, how will we appease the civilized society, what kind of services do we need to give to civilized society, and that all are welcome. But I look at this book, Madhuji, not as the figures which is coming by census. Rather, I doesn't look at this book as a problem to Hindus, problem by Muslims or Christians, or a problem of Christians, Muslims or Hindus. I look at your entire exercise as the threat to Indian civilization. Now, whatever you have expressed, one may have a different opinion, but we cannot deny the fact which has been come because of the census of 2001 and the past experiences on which how to find out and reach out to the solution. I feel the great thinkers and ideologues in this country doesn't want to react and address this problem. By so-called face of pseudo-secularism or secularism rather, they wanted to avoid answering the direct question. I think, Madhuji, this is your effort to bring this vital issue and bringing it to the society for the addressing the same. I think this contribution of yours will take us long and will help largely to the society. Whenever we want to have the good society, obviously people talk that the society which will have an intolerance may not give the good society or good ruling. Your exercise is bringing back the point where maybe the people of the country will have the unrest or intolerance. Your projections and your apprehensions will spell out in the same. I know some may say this book is against Rashtriya Ekatmata. It is appeasing majorities, threatening to minorities. One may say anything, but for a person like me, Madhuji's entire exercise feels that it is a true nationalist call and a presentation to true Indians. And therefore one has to look into the same by that approach. I will not waste my time on the things which is mentioned in the entire book, but something which is worrying me after reading that book is that in this country in 2001 census, it is found out that around 14,000 people like to speak or use their mother language as a Sanskrit, only 14,000, but where compared to that, more than 50,000 people in this country feels or use Persian and Arabic is their language of mode of communication. I am not against any language also, but where the Sanskrit is born, the number of people using the Sanskrit as their language is going down, and then around 78,000 people using Tibetan as their mother tongue language. The point of debate is obviously been thrown out by Mr. Devrekar ji for this entire country. I sincerely feel in democracy all types of thoughts are welcome. You have time and again mentioned about the demographic distribution. I feel this democratic distribution is not designed or it is undesigned, then it is a disastrous. And that may be your point which you would like to bring before the people by this book. I truly appreciate Madhuji's exercise. I believe that the solutions which are needed to be found out on all these problems can be done by civilized society itself with cool and calm mind, with better governance, and as we all also have gone to the school days, we don't forget the school days things. और जो बचपन में हमने सीखा है वो हमें ध्यान में रहता है। मैं भी वो बात को भूलना नहीं चाहता हूँ। आपकी सब बुक पढ़ने के बाद मधु जी मेरे से लेकर बहुत सारे लोगों के मन में और एक विचार आपने डाला है, शायद वो निगेटिव हो सकता है, शायद वो थ्रेटनिंग हो सकता है, शायद वो चिंता करने का हो सकता है, लेकिन वही बचपन में मैंने एक बात सुनी थी और उस बात को कह के मैं मेरा भाषण समाप्त करूंगा। वो वन लाइनर था या शेर था, कहो उसको, यूनानी मिश्र रोम सब मिट गए जहां से, यूनानी मिश्र रोम सब मिट गए जहां से, कुछ बात हम में है ऐसी कि हस्ती मिटती नहीं हमारी, हस्ती मिटती नहीं हमारी। तो ऑन दिस पॉजिटिव नोट, आई थिंक दिस बुक हैज ब्रॉट द प्रॉब्लम्स और इश्यूज ऑफ अ civilized society. Let all civilized society come together, think about it, give a good governance and try to find out the solution. That could be one of the way to really appreciate this book. Thank you very much.
धन्यवाद आशीष शेलार जी. Now I would call upon the author of the book, Sri Madhu Devlekar ji, to express his views on his book. Sri Madhu Devlekar ji.
थोड़ा पानी का बंदोबस्त हो जाए. पानी पानी पद्म श्री पद्मश्री मुजफ्फर हुसैन जी, डॉक्टर स्वामी, डॉक्टर G.O. Ribello, Mr. Muthu and Mr. Shela. Ladies and gentlemen, my esteemed friends, I am extremely happy that my book, which I labored for nearly 3 to 4 years, is seeing the light of the day. Normally, the experience of most of the writers is the love is labor lost. But this time, my labor is not lost. And I'm very, very happy that I've got such an eminent crusader for probity and truth in public life, Dr. Swami, to release this book. Relationship with Dr. Swami goes back to the days of emergency. When Dr. Swami was fresh graduate in India from Harvard, and he was here to fight the tyranny of dictatorship. He was a rebel rouser and was about to set the country on fire, and therefore the powers that be were hunting him for arrest. We were fortunate, the people of Khar, that during his encounter into life, during his underground life, he stayed with one of our workers, Maltita in Daravade, and another former Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh Sar-Sanchalik, Sri Sudarshanji's brother, K. Ramesh in Khar. Since those days, my association is with Swami, and the reputation for him, the love for him, the respect for him is continuously growing. About the book, much has been said, that little remains for me as an author to say. And of course, I would love Dr. Swami and the learned author Muzaffar Hussain ji to throw more light on it. But what is general belief is that the book is talking about the survival of the civilization. The survival of the civilization depends upon the homogeneous, united, integrated behavior of a nation. What is that integrated, homogeneous behavior, homogeneity in the country? That's very well described, as I have written, but Mr. Shela has already spoken about, very well described in the couplets of poet Iqbal. He has written, यूनान मिश्र रुमा सब मिट गए जहाँ से कुछ बात है कि हस्ती मिटती नहीं जहाँ से. Iqbal, later on, he became the destroyer of this civilization. He gave the idea of partition. He was talking of this civilization. And when he speaks of Karwa, जो उतरा तुम्हारे किनारे, तो what was that Karwa? Muslims only came to India only in the 6th century. So that Karwa was, he is talking about the Aryan race. It was previously believed that Aryans have come from abroad and settled down on the plains of Ganges, Jamuna and Sindhu. Now that theory has been revised, but that's what Iqbal was talking. So that is integration. That Iqbal, though a Muslim, he identified himself with the Karwa, the caravan which came centuries and centuries ago and settled down on the plains.
His grandfather was a Hindu.
And
Iqbal's grandfather was a Hindu.
And the most important thing is that Mr. Bajpayee ji is right. But at the moment I was not harping on the convergence and that factor. That we will do later on. The question is of civilization. So the civilization, this homogeneity, that factor is most important. Whether you are Muslim, Hindu, Parsi or whatever it is, or you are not non-believer. Madre Watan, jo Kabuliwala has said that wherever you are always pining for your motherland. And more so because I was encouraged to print this book when I went abroad in USA. Some experts, friends who were exiled from various countries and went there, they read the manuscript and told me that go ahead, this is a wonderful book, you must print it. So I said there is no market in India and who is going to support? They in fact came forward and told me go ahead, print, we will support you. That's why I took this courage to print the book. Now the book is before you, but the question is, most important question is of civilization. Now, if the civilization, people may believe or may not believe, भिन्न रुचि इन लोका, इस दुनिया में बहुत भिन्न भिन्न प्रकार के लोग होते हैं, कालिदास जी ने कहा. तो my friend Dr. Leo Rubino or anybody can have different opinions, but what Shiraji said at the table about the population, in a country of Sanskrit, it's a matter of shame for our local people, the indigenous people, that in this country, Arabic-speaking people are 51,728. Even Tibetans, because they have come to exile and they have stayed here and we have, Hindus have given them protection, they are 85,000. But Sanskrit is spoken only by 14,135 and unfortunately there is no Maharashtrian listed here as speaking Sanskrit as a mother tongue. This is a sad story about culture. Sanskrit was spoken, it was a lingua franca of our country during the Mughal and Gupta rule. And now, this is the state of affairs. So this is the decline of the culture. So we are talking basically about the ethos, the culture, and the consequences of this decline is visible in the world. This is visible as in many countries, like listed out here, the local population has been shunted out, have been driven out, and the others, outsiders or conquerors, have come and occupied it. So there is no fight between one religion and another. The fight is between the culture and the worldliness. Rome, Mishra and Roma meet gaye jahan se the people did not become extinct. People remained, but the culture became extinct. So the danger is everywhere in the world that everybody is talking about the extinction of culture. Another shocking figures of demographic change is the publication of the World Christian Encyclopedia in 1982 added an enormous amount of quantitative evidence for this trend, declining trend in culture. In 1900, mark this, in 1900, over 81% of all Christians were white. But this dropped to only 45% by 2000. Unpacking the immediate and long-term socio-political implications, socio-political, I would say cultural implications of this shift for the future of Christianity. They feel about their future. The writer says, a day may come when Kinshasa, Buenos Aires, Addis Ababa and Manila will replace Rome, Athens, Paris, London and New York as the new centers of Christianity. So the question is not one religion or another. Today you look to the globe of the religion, if we have the shades of different religions, blue shade for Christianity, green shade for Islam, saffron for Hindus and yellow for Buddhists. If you spread this over the globe, you will find that the blue and green are advancing fast. And they are competing. Fortunately or unfortunately, the Hinduism and Buddhism do not compete. They are not out to steal the sheep. They do not want to increase the number of their sheep. They say, leave your religion. You remain and follow your religion. The Parsis could have been extinct, but it's a great glowing example for the greatness of this country that such a minuscule minority is still alive and allowed to live the way they want to live. Atash Behram is only existing now in India, not in Persia or India. So this is the greatness of this culture. We say Atma is Paramatma. No other religion in the world equates human being to the level of God. So this liberalism, you may believe in God, don't believe in God. You may speak this language, don't speak this language, speak any other language. You may believe in idol worship, don't believe in idol. This freedom to the human being. So above all here, to a lot of people who talk about humanism. What is the greatest humanism than this? And that can be practiced only under the aegis of Hindu culture, Hindu civilization. And therefore, ladies and gentlemen, my effort is to see that this message spreads and let and live, but Hindu culture, Hindu civilization must not be allowed to perish. Thank you.
Thank you, Devulekar ji. Now, our chief guest, Dr. Subramaniam Swami, would be speaking, and thereafter our Padma Shri Muzaffar Hussain ji will have the concluding remarks and enlighten us with his views. Now I call upon Dr. Swami to express his views.
हिंदी में बोलो।
Yes, yes.
आप बैठ के बोलिए सर। बैठ के कैमरा के लिए ठीक नहीं है। बैठ से पोजीशन नहीं हो रहा।
अध्यक्ष मुजफ्फर जैन जी, बॉम्बे अध्यक्ष, भारतीय जनता पार्टी के बॉम्बे काउंसिल के अध्यक्ष सतीश शेट्टी, देवलकर हमारे बहुत पुराने दोस्त, और इसीलिए मैंने विशेष यहाँ उपस्थित होने के लिए मेहनत की। डॉक्टर बैलो, देवाई मुतू, और हमारे साथी जावेद अख्तर खान और दोस्तों, देवलकर जी ने कहा है देश। अब उन्हीं को जगा सकते हो जो असली सोए हैं, जो बनावटी सोने के दिखाते हैं, उनको जगाना मुश्किल होता है। हमारे देश में सबको वास्तविकता पता है, लेकिन अपने करियर के लिए या सरकार की चापलूसी करने के लिए या अपना और कोई फायदा के लिए लोग ऐसी बातें कहते हैं जो हमारे देश के लिए विपरीत जाती है। इस देश एक जमाने में 1000 साल से पहले 100% हिंदू था, और उस समय हमने किसी माइनॉरिटी के साथ अन्याय नहीं किया। फारसी आए थे जब इस्लाम का आक्रमण हुआ ईरान में, तो फारसी यहाँ भाग के आए, उनका हमने स्वागत किया, उनका फायर टेम्पल बनाया और उनको हमने अपने साथ एक पारिवारिक रिश्ते के साथ जोड़ने की कोशिश की। यहूदी आए, उनका मारकाट सब जगह हुआ था, तो शरण लेने के लिए यहाँ आए थे। बम्बई में हमने सिनेगॉग बनाई उनके लिए, केरल में बनाई, और यहाँ तक कि जब इजराइल का पुनः स्थापना हुई 1948 में, तो उनके पार्लियामेंट में पहला प्रस्ताव, संविधान की पुष्टि करने के बाद पहला प्रस्ताव जो पार्लियामेंट ने पास किया, उसमें भारत देश को धन्यवाद देते हुए प्रस्ताव, और उन्होंने कहा कि धन्य हो भारत, एकमात्र देश दुनिया में जहां हमारे साथ शोषण और नरसंहार नहीं हुआ वो है भारत देश, उसको हम कभी भूल नहीं सकते। मुसलमान भी आए थे शुरू में व्यापारी बन के केरल में, अरब लोग, उनको हमने स्वागत किया और केरल में उनके अपने परिवार में विवाह भी कराया, और उसके लिए उनको मापिलाई, यानी मलयालम में मापिलाई माने सच लो, और उसको अंग्रेजी में मोपला कहते हैं। तो हमें उनको भी हमने साथ रखा। तो ये हिंदू की इतिहास जो है, जब 100% थे और छोटे मोटे ग्रुप्स आए थे, उनका हमने देखभाल किया। हिंदू ये भी कहता है कि हर उपासना पद्धति से, हर मजहब से भगवान प्राप्त किया जा सकता है, कोई और धर्म ये नहीं कहता। क्रिश्चियन कहते हैं हमारे एक ही रास्ता है, मुसलमान भी यही कहता है कि हमारा रास्ता एक ही है। एकमात्र धर्म या उपासना पद्धति या जिसको उर्दू में मजहब कहते हैं, वो हिंदू है जो कहता है कि सब रास्ते से भगवान प्राप्त कर सकते हैं। हमारे पास कोई प्रॉफिट नहीं है, हमारे पास किताबें हैं, वेद है, शास्त्र है, और हमने ये कहा कि वेद को नहीं छू सकते क्योंकि उसने भगवान ने सीधा हमारे ऋषि मुनियों को बताया, लेकिन शास्त्र को कभी भी बदला जा सकता है। कोई ऐसी बात कह दे मनुस्मृति में जो आज आपको पसंद नहीं है, तो उसका संशोधन कर सकते हैं। यज्ञवाक्य की स्मृति का संशोधन कर सकते हैं। तो ऐसी कोई बात नहीं है जिससे हम ये कह सकते हैं कि हिंदू का जो मंशा है वो कम्युनल है, या वो अपना समुदाय का ही सोचता है और बाहर के लोगों को दुश्मन समझता है। ये जो एक संस्कृति है, ये संस्कृति जो है, ये संस्कृति को कायम रखने के लिए हमें प्रयास करनी चाहिए। दुनिया में 46 संस्कृति आज तक उत्पन्न हुई, उसमें 45 गायब हो गए। सिर्फ एक संस्कृति आज अटूट आते आया है, वो है हिंदू संस्कृति। तो जब हम कहते हैं भारत देश की अस्मिता हिंदू संस्कृति है, तो हम ये नहीं कहते कि हम मुसलमान को कहेंगे कि तुम हिंदू बनो, या क्रिश्चियन को कहेंगे हम हिंदू बनो। किसी तरीके से हम नहीं कहेंगे। हम तो चाहते हैं कि जब हम ये बात कह देते हैं, जो आज साइंटिफिक स्टडीज, डीएनए के साइंटिफिक स्टडीज के अनुसार जो बात सत्य है कि मुसलमान, हिंदू, ब्राह्मण, शेड्यूल कास्ट, इन उत्तर भारत, दक्षिण भारत, सबका डीएनए एक ही है। अंग्रेजों ने ये पैदा किया आर्यन एंड द्रविडियन। आर्यन शब्द है ही नहीं हमारे ग्रंथों में। आर्यन की जगह में हम आर्या रखते हैं। आर्य माने सभ्य व्यक्ति, वो सबके लिए लागू होती है। और द्राविड़ जो शब्द है वो दो संस्कृत शब्दों की संधि है, जिससे अर्थ बनता है कि जहाँ तीन तट मिलते हैं या तीन समुद्र मिलते हैं, और उस यानी अरेबियन सी, बे ऑफ बंगाल, इंडियन ओशन, इसके साथ जो तट हैं जो मिलते हैं, तो दक्षिण भारत को द्राविड़ कहते हैं। लेकिन अंग्रेजों ने पाठ पढ़ा दिया कि आर्यन कोई वहाँ यूरोप से आया और द्राविड़ थे, पहले राज कर रहे थे, उनको मार मार के दक्षिण बढ़ाया। और इसके लिए उन्होंने एक आंदोलन भी शुरू कर दी, हमारे देश के आजादी आंदोलन में फूट पैदा करने के लिए, द्राविड़ आंदोलन। और द्राविड़ आंदोलन ने कहा कि रामा आर्य है, आर्यन है, और इसीलिए हम उनको मानेंगे नहीं, हम द्राविड़ हैं, हमारा भगवान तो रावण है। तो जब आप उत्तर भारत में हम रावण लीला मनाते थे, ये रावण लीला मनाते थे। लेकिन बाद में करुणानिधि को पता लगा, तो मैंने उसको सिखाया भी कि रावण ब्राह्मण था और राम ब्राह्मण नहीं था, वो क्षत्रिय था। और जब बहुत आग्रह करने, पढ़ने के लिए दस्तावेज देकर, तमिल में लिखी हुई रामायण देकर, वो फिर आखिर में तैयार हुए। और अब वो रावण लीला का पूजा नहीं करते और रावण लीला मनाते नहीं है, और सिर्फ राम की बुराई करते रहते हैं। पर तो वहाँ भी वो फेल हो गए हैं। राम सेतु तोड़ने के लिए बड़ा प्रयास किया उन्होंने और वो सफल नहीं हुए। सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने रोक लगा दी और उस सेतु समुद्र प्रोजेक्ट को अब रद्द होगा और उसके बाद उसको राष्ट्र धरोहर बनाएंगे और राष्ट्र धरोहर के आधार पर जाएगी। तो आज हमें क्या करना चाहिए जागने के लिए? जागने के लिए पहला हम लोगों को ये मानना चाहिए कि सब हम एक हैं। हिंदू, मुस्लिम, क्रिश्चियन, सबका डीएनए एक ही है। ये जर्नल ऑफ जेनेटिक्स स्टडीज जो कैम्ब्रिज में छपता है और हमारे देश में यूनिवर्सिटी ऑफ मैसूर में छपता है, ये इसमें जो शोध उन्हीं रिसर्च छपी है उसके अनुसार ये बात बनती है। देवलकर को पुस्तक में चिंता है कि मुस्लिम की पॉपुलेशन बड़ी तेजी से बढ़ रही है। उसका अधिकांश कारण तो इन्फिल्ट्रेशन है जो बांग्लादेश से होता है। एक जमाने में बांग्लादेश में पॉपुलेशन जो थी उसकी जो आज है 1/3 हिस्सा भारत देश को आ गया। तो हम तो जब बांग्लादेशी के सरकार के कोई प्रकाश या कोई आता है वहां से मुझसे बात करता है, तो मैं ये कहता हूँ कि पार्टीशन बनी क्यों, पार्टीशन आई क्यों? क्योंकि अंग्रेजों ने कहा कि जो मुसलमान हिंदू के साथ रह नहीं सकता, हिंदू के प्रभुसत्ता के नीचे रह नहीं सकता, तो उसके लिए अलग देश बनाने की आवश्यकता है। और उन्होंने भारत देश की विभाजन करके पाकिस्तान उत्पन्न किया, जिस 2 टुकड़ा होकर अब बांग्लादेश और पाकिस्तान बन गया। अब यदि बनने के बाद वो मुसलमान हमारे देश में हिंदू के साथ रहने के लिए आ जाते हैं, तो फिर तो मुझे लगता है कि या बांग्लादेश इन सबको वापस लेना चाहिए या बांग्लादेश को 1/3 हिस्सा अपने जमीन, अपना जमीनी है, उसको वापस लौटा देना चाहिए। और यदि ये नहीं करते हैं तो हमें फौज भेज करके 1/3 हिस्सा, यानी उसकी नक्शा देखोगे बांग्लादेश को तो खुलना से सिलेट का एक लकीर खींचोगे तो जो ऊपर का जमीन है 1/3 है। क्योंकि हम फिर हमें चाहिए जमीन बसाने के लिए। हमने तो पाकिस्तान दिया क्योंकि मुसलमान जो मुसलमान हिंदू के साथ नहीं रहना चाहता उसके लिए। तो आज हम और भी थोड़ा गहरा में देखेंगे, ये पॉपुलेशन ग्रोथ रेट, ये इन्फिल्ट्रेशन को छोड़कर उसमें केरल की जो पॉपुलेशन रेट ऑफ ग्रोथ है मुस्लिम की, वो बिहार और उत्तर प्रदेश की हिंदू से कम है। कारण क्या है? रिसर्च में कहते हैं कि क्योंकि केरल का मुसलमान ज्यादा पढ़ा लिखा है और दक्षिण में जनरली मुस्लिम पॉपुलेशन थोड़ा उत्तर भारत की तुलना में कम गति से बढ़ रही है। तो मुझे तो लगता है कि जो हमारे प्रयास होनी चाहिए कि सब बराबर की शिक्षा में आए ताकि उनकी सारी की पॉपुलेशन एक ग्रोथ रेट एक जैसा हो, तो वो हमें करना चाहिए। मैं मुसलमान को भी कहता हूँ कि आप इंटरनेशनल समुदाय मत बनिए। मुझे एक दिन एक मुसलमान ने कहा कि आप इजराइल का सपोर्ट करते हो, हमें मुसलमानों को ये बात पसंद नहीं। मैंने कहा क्यों? इजराइल तो हमें मदद करती है, हमारे से कोई झगड़ा नहीं है, हमारे से कोई सीमा में उनका कोई हिस्सा नहीं है, जैसे पाकिस्तान के साथ है और चाइना के साथ है। इजराइल दूर में है और हर समय हमें हमारी सपोर्ट करती है। अब उसके देश में क्या करती है, फिर हम कहाँ कहाँ ढूंढते रहेंगे? क्या चाइना तिब्बत में नहीं कर रही है, सिंजियांग में नहीं कर रही है, पाकिस्तान शियाओं के साथ नहीं कर रहे हैं, अहमदियों के साथ नहीं कर रहे हैं, बांग्लादेश में हिंदुओं के साथ नहीं हो रहा, तो फिर किस देश के साथ हम रिश्ता रखेंगे? और जब ये मदद कर रही है हमें, तो हमें अपने राष्ट्रहित देखना चाहिए। और ये तमिलनाडु को भी मैं कहता हूँ कि वो लिट्टे के समर्थन में चंद लोग, सारे लोग नहीं, बहुत कम लोग, परंतु ज्यादा हल्ला उल्ला करने वाले लोग वो लिट्टे को सपोर्ट करने लगे। हर बात पर नहीं, श्रीलंका से रिश्ता नहीं रखनी चाहिए। इसका क्या असर हुआ? इसका असर यह हुआ कि जो भी हम नहीं कर सके, जैसे एक बार श्रीलंका ने हमसे कहा कि हमें बंदरगांव बनाना है इंडिया से 32 किलोमीटर दूर में, और उसके लिए आप कर्जा दीजिए और आपके इंजीनियर भेजिए। मनमोहन सिंह ने कहा राजपक्ष को, जो राष्ट्रपति है, कि ये तो हम नहीं कर सकते हैं क्योंकि करुणानिधि ये मानेगा नहीं। इसी प्रकार से वहां के सेना के लोग आए यहाँ ट्रेनिंग के लिए। जयललिता ने चिट्ठी लिख दी कि उनको तमिलनाडु में हम ट्रेनिंग नहीं दे सकते, तो श्रीलंका के लोगों ने उनको बाहर निकाल के कहाँ भेजा ट्रेनिंग के लिए? पाकिस्तान भेजा। तो यहाँ चाइना बंदरगांव बनाने के लिए तैयार हो गई, तो चाइना आज 32 किलोमीटर दूर में बैठी है, और श्रीलंका के आर्मी में आज पाकिस्तान के ट्रेन में लोग आने लगे हैं। तो हमारी राष्ट्र हित का कितना बड़ा खिलवाड़ हुआ है। तो हम लोग को, सब हिंदू हो मुसलमान हो, ये सोचना चाहिए कि हम पहले भारतीय हैं और बाद में हम हिंदू हैं मुसलमान हैं। और यदि हमारे हिंदू होते और मुसलमान होते, हमारा कोई लक्ष्य है, राष्ट्रीय लक्ष्य के साथ कोई टक्कर है, तो राष्ट्रीय लक्ष्य टिकेगा और ये जो बाकी लक्ष्य ये नहीं टिकेगा। ये एक राष्ट्रवाद का एक पहचान है। हिंदू को तो यही देश है और कोई देश नहीं। और इतनी संस्कृति, इतनी लंबी संस्कृति, इस संस्कृति को कैसे कायम करें, उसके लिए हमें हमारे इतिहास में एक सही पुस्तक लिखने की आवश्यकता है। नई सरकार बनेगी, लोग कुछ भी कहे नरेंद्र मोदी के बारे, परंतु वो तो निकल पड़ा है और प्रधानमंत्री बन के ही दिखेगा, उसको रोक नहीं सकता कोई। तो सरकार तो बनेगी ऐसा लगता है। तो ये सरकार हमें नए पुस्तकों को टेक्स्ट बुक के रूप में लानी चाहिए, जो वास्तविकता है, साइंटिफिक। अब कई पुस्तकों में कहते हैं कि सरस्वती नकली, ये काल्पनिक नदी है। अब पहले था, अंग्रेज बड़ा मजाक उड़ाते थे क्योंकि वेद में सरस्वती का जिक्र ज्यादा था और गंगा का कम था, और अंग्रेज कहते थे कहाँ है सरस्वती। अब ये सैटेलाइट इमेजिंग के जरिए, उन्होंने पता किया कि सरस्वती जमीन के नीचे है, अंडरग्राउंड रिवर है। तो अब उसको खोदा गया और आज सरस्वती को नदी को आप देखना तो हरियाणा में जा सकते हैं और गुजरात तक, राजस्थान के रास्ते से उसको गुजरात के से समुद्र तक उसको खोद के निकाले, सरस्वती आ गई। कहा कि द्वारका कहीं नहीं है। कहाँ है द्वारका? द्वारका शहर है पर तो वहाँ कोई द्वारका नहीं है। पुराण में लिखा था कि प्रलय आया और द्वारका समुद्र के नीचे चले गए। 1996 में आर्कियोलॉजिकल सर्वे ऑफ इंडिया के डॉक्टर सुब्बाराव ने एक टीम ले गए और नदी के नीचे गए, सोनार का उपयोग करके पता लगा कि सारा द्वारका की शहर जो कृष्ण भगवान की टाइम थी वो समुद्र पानी के नीचे, उसको अभी ऊपर उठा रहे। अब उसको म्यूजियम में बना रखने वाले हैं, नया द्वारका शहर के निर्माण की बात चल रही है। तो मैं कहता हूँ कि इतने नेशनल आए हैं साइंटिफिक स्टडी, उससे नई दृष्टिकोण पैदा हुई। जब मैं लॉ मिनिस्टर था तो उस समय बाबरी एक्शन कमेटी के अध्यक्ष शाहबुद्दीन थे, वो मेरे बहुत जाने माने मित्र हैं, बहुत लंबे समय का। तो मैंने उनको कहा था कि आप वो मस्जिद पर जिद क्यों करते हो? मस्जिद तो कहीं भी बन सकती है। आपको पता है कि सऊदी अरेबिया में मस्जिद को तोड़ते हैं सरकार और सड़क बनाते हैं, कभी ये भी बनाते हैं, महल भी बनाते हैं। जिस मस्जिद में मोहम्मद ने नमाज पढ़ी थी, जिसका नाम था, उस मस्जिद को भी तोड़ करके उन्होंने महल बनाई मक्का में। जब मैंने सऊदी अरेबिया के एम्बेसडर से पूछा, उन्होंने कहा मस्जिद तो नमाज पढ़ने का स्थल है, वो कहीं भी बनाया जा सकता है, इस कमरे में भी नमाज पढ़ी जा सकती है। तो इसीलिए मैं कहता हूँ मुसलमान कम्युनिटी को कि 3 जगह ऐसे हैं जो हमारे लिए विशेष है। देखिए, हमारे लिए मंदिर मस्जिद जैसा नहीं है। मंदिर में क्या होता है, बनाते समय प्राण प्रतिष्ठा पूजा होती है। इसके माने भगवान उस मूर्ति के अंदर प्रवेश कर जाते हैं। जब वो मूर्ति के अंदर प्रवेश करते हैं तो हमारे ग्रंथों के अनुसार वो सदा के लिए मंदिर रहता है, वहाँ पूजा हो ना हो, टूट जाए ना टूट जाए। और जहाँ तक बाबरी मस्जिद का सवाल है, उसके नीचे मंदिर है। ये तो इलाहाबाद हाई कोर्ट ने जब एक कमीशन इंक्वायरी बनाई और सैटेलाइट इमेजिंग से पता किया तो वहाँ नीचे मंदिर थे। मुसलमान के लिए दूसरा मस्जिद बना देंगे और भी शानदार मस्जिद बनाएंगे जो दुनिया में आपको नहीं मिलेगी। तो ये भाईचारा का जो है रिश्ता, ये उत्पन्न करने की आवश्यकता है। हाँ, कानून बराबर होनी चाहिए, फैमिली प्लानिंग सबके लिए ऊपर बराबर लागू होनी चाहिए। अच्छा, एक और मिथ है, सेंसस डेटा में जब आएगी देख लेना, आप देखोगे तो लोग कितने कहते हैं यूनिफॉर्म सिविल कोड तो होना चाहिए, नो डाउट। पर जो वस्तुस्थिति है, कितने मुसलमान के पास एक से ज्यादा बीवी है? सेंसस के अनुसार 3.5%। और आश्चर्य हुआ जब मैंने देखा हिंदुओं में 5 बजे 2001 की सेंसस की बात कर रहे हैं,